This is a highly anticipated item. But I'm not so confident that it will meet the specifications I hope it does meet. This is a second iteration of a color e-ink device for reading. Boox marker tips. The box for marker tips are a bit rough looking. This item was just released at the very end of March. I believe March 25th, something like that. Early buyers, right? The first people who buy the first however number it was advertised would receive this magnetic case with physical page buttons for free. And so possibly within 15 minutes of me first hearing about it online, I just happened to be on a forum, like a tech forum. I just happened to see them mention a new color e-ink device. So Boox is a mainland Chinese company that has been producing e-readers, as many others have been doing as the competition has been heating up. This promise of a color e-ink reading device was quite appealing because one of the things that Kindle Oasis, which I own, does not do well is, does not do at all is allow you to read in color comic books or manga or anything where color is useful. This was highlighted for me when I purchased Christian something or other, what his name is, Dataclysm on Kindle. And I was quite disappointed to find that I couldn't read any of the charts because it's in color. Now these Boox tablets are like a incremental improvement on the Kindle, on the Kobo reader produced in Japan. The Barnes & Noble, I forget the name of that device. I first early adopted the Kindle going way back, early 2000s, and I bought a $489 Kindle DX at the culmination of my craze for e-readers back in 2009. I ended up returning that because I couldn't justify the price of it. The Kindle DX was huge and heavy, like a 12-inch size device, but the screen itself was no bigger than the Kindle Oasis I own right now. And so what I found with the Kindle DX, and I did rebuy it, the iteration 2 later on, was that you kind of want a device about this size or so that you can see the pages but not have to fumble around with a giant device. Now this Boox Nova Air was a device that came out last year with color e-ink. Somewhat low contrast, kind of just barely there color is what was noticed then. Now this promises a higher contrast image finally, and that was the interest I had in seeing the update of that device. So it comes nicely packaged in this lift box. It says Boox, and here it is. Very thin. Look at that. I would say just 2 or 3 millimeters thick. USB-C charging. This one does not connect to my computer, but my USB cable there does. Here it is, the USB-C Onyx. The USB charging cable. Oh, it's charged 86% right out of the box. So that will allow me to use it right away. Comes with a stylus. And it says power button is top left, I guess. Microphone, bottom right, near mid. Speaker, bottom right. Power on. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Took about 5 seconds. I'm going to turn that off. Look at that, color e-ink. I'll choose English, United States. Privacy policies. I'm sure there might be some Chinese spying going on here. Time zone set to Beijing. Time is 6:26 Eastern Time. The date is April the 4th. Maybe this was checked on March 15th, which is interesting. April 4th. The time is 6:27. Traditional mode for now. It says left hand if you swipe up, E in center, swipe in the center to go home, swipe from the right bottom for full refresh. Volume up and down is on the left hand side, warming lights right side. That's one of the features of this, that it can go from cold light to warm light. Right hand mode, yes. So some calibration. Let's see if it comes with a tip. Looks like it. Okay, so that calibrates the stylus. I'm going to turn the Wi-Fi on. So while I set this up, I'm going to there it is. Now I've connected. The device seems kind of dark. It's kind of darkish. I'm going to try downloading Kindle into here. Pretty speedy download. I'm also going to download Libby, which is what my local library uses. Does it have caliber? Gutenberg reader. Good. Free. Very snappy downloads. How do I set DPI to max? Just like that. So this thing is charged 95%. I'm going to disconnect it. Okay. Take a look at a comic book. Here's one. Yeah, it's a magnetic stylus holder. It is a bit dusky. Okay. Very much a kind of a dusky color. So it is color, but do a little bit of messing around with it. Maybe just for like an hour or so. See that when this cover magnetic, the cover actually is kind of a plasticine. It's protective, but not super quality. But as you can see, if I open, it turns it on, and then when I close it, it shuts it off. There's a screensaver that I put in myself. So if you go to the left side, swipe up, you get the adjustment. And this here is set to be the brightness. It doesn't seem to do much. And so you can adjust the refresh modes, as you can see here. So every time it refreshes when you scroll and things like that. So if you go up from here, from the middle, you get to this page. Oh yeah, this thing does work with caliber. So there's a store where you can actually, this tells you how much memory is in. Oh yeah, first of all, I wanted to show the music player. Let me find something that may sound a little bit more like music. Maybe like, so while that's playing, you can create playlists.
Nothing unusual, nothing strange, close to nothing.
So this is how you control brightness. So this seems to control warmth versus coolness.
Same old rain.
You see how warm it's getting there,
There's
and
no
how cool it gets here.
explosions here.
And this controls the darkness to light.
And something unusual,
So that is
something strange.
by swiping from the top right down. So let me let you hear some classical. Let you play some Yamashita. So, can you play music and then read a book? As you can see, you certainly can. Yeah, here are, so you can hook up the USB to your computer, and that's how I downloaded that music, and of course the screensavers, and then you can see the pictures downloaded here. I did firmware upgrade this. Here are some qualities of images when so you see some of that ghosting there, and then if you sync it, it goes away. You see, here's some data analysis there. So decent detail that you can zoom in and out fairly easily. You see that ghosting there again. It goes away when you refresh it like that. Here's some color graphical data. And you see that ghosting there. It clears up when you do that. You see that? Legible once you clear it up like that as you scroll. So earlier, by going left, make out useful graphing. Just requires some refreshing to get rid of that ghosting. I guess you can make it so that auto refreshes very frequently to get rid of it. That's one option. Brightness settings and things like that. Coolness, warmness of the screen. So it comes in this light mode. You see that ghosting goes away once you refresh it. Then when you, like for instance, here's the speed. See that ghosting? Interesting.
But before we do, today's video sponsor is Thermal Grizzly and their Cryonaut Extreme, which is now available in a 2-gram syringe. This high-performance thermal paste delivers maximum thermal conductivity thanks to an extremely small particle size and layer thickness. It's also very flexible, capable of standing up to sub-zero temperatures for extreme overclocking, but also performs exceptionally well for air and water cooling applications. So if your CPU or GPU needs repasting, then I suggest checking out
just a little bit of a weight.
Have you ever experienced a glitch in the Matrix?
As you can
If
see,
so,
it is
consider
actually
sending it my
quite
way.
usable.
Just go to astheravendreams.com and click the button to do so.
And it's set up in tabs so that, as you can see here, it's actually quite usable. Quite usable browser, as you can see, without any apparent censoring. I hooked this thing up to my local library as well, and I found that I could immediately start downloading and immediately start borrowing items. There's the settings app. There's a firmware update, which I did. I was surprised to find that they had already issued the firmware update, despite it being so new. Okay, I wanted to show a few additional things about the Boox device. You can set, of course, where your system goes to when you wake your thing up, and adjust your font sizes and things like that. I found that in the storage, I was curious, I think many people will want to add additional, what do you call it, additional memory. If you're curious about that. Now I've got my 1 terabyte of SSD. Will it work? It's set to drain the battery quite a bit in this setup. And the Let's try looking at our storage. Look at that. 171 of 1 terabyte available. These files are accessible. I've got some movies in here. Let's look at a Coen brother, Barton Fink. Will it play? No, it will not. Okay, so how about a caliber library? Oh, here it is, the Mobi file. Let's see. Will it play? Yes, it does. Basically a SATA 3 SSD attached to the transfer adapter. Will this play? So where's the Mobi file? There it is. The color reads. So my conclusion is this might be a good buy for your Boox. Let us... So I can do like a ballpoint pen, pencil, marker, a brush pen. So 16 colors. And this way I can see I can make adjust the width to the line that I want. Oh, what's a good color there? Oh, maybe a bit too thin to see all the details. I can save these varieties of pen. One thing this lacks, which I wish it had, is the beveled line that OneNote can give you. So reflow moves to left top. It's taking a little bit of time. So not that great. And let's try dictating. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3 period. This is a test of the dictating capabilities of the Book Onyx Nova Air C device, period. Not that great, but it makes an attempt. The note-taking capabilities of this device, which is quite fully rounded out. Compare some comparisons. Screen differences. What are the advantages of e-ink over LCD screens? It is glare. It's quite resistant to glare, which is what makes it legible, readable in full sun. The other big difference is battery usage. An e-ink device will have a much better battery management than an LCD device like this iPad mini 6th generation. This is my Kindle Oasis. Size comparison of Boox with Kindle Oasis in its cases. Of course, the brightness levels are set quite high on my Kindle right now. Keep it on manual to adjust the level to about the same. It's all a matter of getting used to whatever device you have. The screen size difference Let's see. Where is the keyboard is not showing up. So my final assessment of the Boox Onyx Nova Air C, I think it's well worth the price of $420 shipped. Mainly like about it, of course, is the e-ink technology. Color, although it requires some refreshing, works very well. The reading function works pretty decently. Not quite as snappy and not really perfected as the Amazon Kindle. The Amazon Kindle is quite restricted to only black and white. The Neo browser that's on this is quite functional, and you can use it for surfing, for searching, and it's snappy, works pretty well. The music player, the speaker is not horrible. You can use it and keep it playing in the background if you don't have earphones. The note-taking function is usable. The storage options, pleased to find that products like this, relatively inexpensive, that you can get on Amazon or eBay. There are many customizable aspects of this that the Amazon products don't have. The downsides, I think it's a bit clunkier than my Kindle Oasis in some ways. Sometimes it takes more than a single push to register. It hasn't crashed on me yet, however. It seems to generally be quite functional as it stands. It seems to be, as is, totally functional, totally usable. The adjustments, the capabilities of it is fairly good. So I'm quite happy with it, and I'm going to keep it. Will I ever use my Amazon Kindle again? For the time being, I can't imagine going to this device when I have this alternative available.